This is a special 2 hour edition of the Brian Snow Show, testing some things out. Let's roll. Thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Yet. It's been a busy day, and I've enjoyed every single bit of it. And if y'all caught the morning show earlier, you know who this is for. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Brian Snow Show, and this is a special 2-hour edition trying a few new things. And I have 2 fantastic guests, and I'm not going to waste any time. Here's Bizarro Wise El Jefe. And I'm bringing him here right now. What's going on, my brother? How are you?
I'm doing good. Excuse me. Just getting ready to go live today at 5 p.m.
What's the subject today?
Who's my guest today?
Because I know yesterday you had a last-minute cancellation.
Yes, I did have a last-minute cancellation. But those things happen, man. You can't really get upset over that.
No,
you just gotta just keep going.
The Brian Snow Show presented by BetUs.com as well as Invader Coffee. Wise El Jefe, the host of the fabulous Stuck in My Mind podcast, which you can see on the BS3 network as well as YouTube. This is a subject I want to touch with you, and I'm going to touch this with our other guests later on in the show. How tough is it? And I know you've asked this of some of your guests, to authentically grow a YouTube channel and have many followers and everything. How tough has that process been for you?
Ooh. How is it tough to grow it?
How tough of a process is it?
Listen, okay, so for my first 2.5 years, I had a total of 10,000 downloads. And now 10,000 downloads on my audio podcast. Mm-hmm. And then in the last 7 months, with certain tools and me growing as a podcaster and me doing more now than I did when I first started podcasting, I've just gone over 20. I'm at 21,000 downloads now.
Beautiful.
And that's
beautiful.
So I went from 10,000 to 21,000 in the last 7 months. and it's because of being consistent,
Mm-hmm.
being more just all right. So when you start doing this, one of the big things, and I always talk about this, is the networking.
Yes.
And it's the people you connect with and the people you start learning from and growing with that make you better. And to have these relationships now that I have is paying off in my work,
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm learning from these people and developing as a content creator, and it's paying off and it's showing in my work. It's reflecting in what I'm doing. It's reflecting in who I'm having as a guest. It's reflecting on the questions I'm asking them. It's reflecting on everything, because I've focused on building these relationships, wanting to grow and improve.
Improvement is such a wonderful thing, especially when you really dive in and want to improve your product, because you and I have both seen it. There are some podcasters that get into this. Uh there are some YouTubers that get into this that think they can just turn a camera on or turn a microphone on and dish out content, and just think it's going to catch. And what they don't realize, and Cole has spoken about this with us too, there's a lot that goes into the preparation of shows like this and shows like yours. And it's the preparation and the consistency. And you outlined this in a wonderful article I had a chance to read recently. It's the preparation and the consistency that will drive everything.
Yes, but you also got to understand that I was that person, but I decided that this is what I wanted to do. So
Mm-hmm.
I researched what I needed to do to get improve. I've took courses. I've wanted to improve. I was, what equipment do I need?
Right.
And listen, I'm telling anybody, anybody out there can start a podcast with anything. Like, you just do it with a phone.
Mm-hmm.
The point is getting started.
Yeah.
But the fact that I felt like this was something that was important to me is that I decided to invest in myself. I invested in equipment, invested in what I felt was going to help me put out the best content possible, put out whatever was the best quality that I can put out.
What turned it on for you? What finally made it click for you to say, you know what? The hell with what everybody thinks. I'm going to invest in me and my craft, and it starts with the equipment. What was the
It's
light
been
that
from
turned
day
on for
one.
you?
It's been from day one. It's once I started recording and podcasting and doing it.
Mhm.
This is what I want to do. This is what I want to build. And I'm blessed to have my partner, Poppy J, my brother, my nephew, my best friend, help me build this and come with me along for the ride. And then I got a very supportive wife who knows this is a process, and could have been easily like, "Oh man, you're 40, what, and you're doing what? Please
Right.
grow up." But
Right.
no, she was like,
Right.
she saw the potential. She sees all these other things. She's seen all these TikToks. She sees the potential in what can become.
Mm-hmm.
And her supporting me and pushing me and encouraging me and showing me, hey, listen, let's start an LLC. Let's do this. Let's do this. It's motivated me to continue to be consistent, to do the work, to build the relationships, to just go out there and do it. And so I'm having a great time. I'm recording my show 3 times a week. Then I do Poppy J and Wise. Then I do me and Cole's brainchild of mentality, which is
off the
so much
charts right
fun.
now.
Bro,
Yes.
it's so much fun for me to do that show, because the genius that is Cole Johnson
Yes, indeed.
drives this show. He is one of the greatest people. He's like one of the most humblest people, because he's like, yo, bro, the show is fire. You're killing, you doing it. And I tell him, yo, bro, you're the engine. I'm just driving. You're the engine. You're the one like, this Wise is gonna kill this. I can see Wise doing boom, and let's do it. And I'm learning and I'm processing all this and I'm watching all this and I'm implementing and stuck in my mind and I'm doing that over there and stuck in my mind and it's helping me grow as a presenter, help me grow as an executive producer, because I'm willing to learn from someone who's a genius at what he does, and he's willing to teach me. That's the beautiful thing.
How much fun is it to do Mentality each week, to have that brainchild hatch, and you said, and I remember you saying you didn't want it to be a sports show, which is a wonderful thing. I am hooked on that show. I'm hooked on Mentality, because you never know what's going to happen each week, between you two guys. And somehow
I'm honestly tell you why, because I know you want to be a guest, and I'm gonna tell you why I haven't. Cole, and you know why? Because it's at the moment it's me and Cole. Like I just felt that
and that's energy, totally fair.
This is what I wanted to drive it with. I just wanted to shine on us. And there's nothing. I love you, brother. You know I love you. You know I love you. You know, and we're gonna do a panel show. We're gonna do a Mentality panel show.
But Mentality is you, and I totally understand. Mentality is you guys. Yeah. Mentality is
and that's what and it's not nothing personal with anyone, because we're not bringing no one.
Right.
Poppy J's not coming on.
Right.
Ben, no one. It's just me and Cole just driving this. We just want to drive this. And like I said, we're gonna do panel shows, and of course you're gonna be a guest. You're gonna be a part of the panel.
But the timing has to be right.
Yes,
the timing has to be right.
Listen, I could listen when we did the Revelations panel. Cole, to me, anyone who could get Cole as an EP, can work with Cole and learn from Cole, take that opportunity.
Please do.
Because this man is a genius. This man, bro, I just go show up to work.
Yeah.
I just go show up to work. I don't have to do it. My brother, he's like, yo, okay, I got this. And the crazy thing is he'll see something.
And
like,
the next thing you know,
change the whole entire show.
Yep.
He'll change the whole entire show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in the slate. I don't know how many times or how many recent shows of Mentality, and you're a big time Yankees fan. I love listening to John Sterling call Yankees games. But the first time you ever looked in the camera and said F Boston, which is where the PSA came from, and took the show completely off the rails, and now it's like something we run with on all the shows that we have.
Yeah, it's a staple now. It's crazy.
It's a staple, because now I play it on Snowman in the morning. I play part of it on here on the afternoon show. It's all over Snowman Multimedia. Yep, McCarthy's playing it. Everybody's playing it, and I know where it stems from. I know the hatred within. And you pointed out something to me. You said, look, I say this about an entire city. Snowman, you're just saying this about a team. You know what? That's the most wonderful thing. And that's why I posed the question one morning. The entire thank you, Ryan. F you, Marky Mark, and the entire and
Funky Bunch. Yes.
The first time you said it, you paused before you said Funky Bunch. The entire, and then there's that pause.
I just wanted it to be clear that I was talking about the entire Funky Bunch. Marky Mark. Yes. Yeah.
And
but it's
now it's taken off. That rant, that classic rant that you started 2 weeks ago. And you actually started 4 weeks ago when you just said F Boston, which turned into a PSA that everybody's playing right now.
Yes.
And it then developed into a legendary rant. And now there's a second part to it, which somehow Cole, the genius, squished into 60 seconds. And now it's like it's a staple now.
Listen, if your name is anything associated with Boston, you will be said eventually. You will be said. That's the new thing is anyone who's associated with Boston, who's from Boston, who played in Boston, who lives in Boston right now.
See, you got me.
It's just
it's gonna be on that list. See, you got me with the first legendary rant, which now is gonna be like a weekly staple. I already know that's coming because you're gonna drum up some more names of folks from Boston and you're gonna let them have it.
The names I said this week was funny.
But when you started with New Kids on the Block and coupled it with New Edition
but to be fair, I did say I love New Edition.
Yes,
I didn't say,
you did.
You
mentioned one of their songs too. Can You Stand the Rain? You mentioned one of my favorite songs.
It is one of my favorite songs. And so I'm not going to be here and lie and say I don't love New Edition, but they do represent Boston, and so it was a big F them. So except for Johnny Gill, I gotta remember. Johnny Gill's from DC. Johnny Gill, because Johnny Gill is from Washington D.C. So I just have to put that out there.
And then you said the other 5 bleep heads, and then you stopped and
I corrected myself. I corrected myself because they cannot help where they're from. Yes, I did say that. Yes, I did. I did. I wanted
but when you did that, that just sold everything. When you did that, that just sold everything. You just and you were smiling because you were in the middle of a rant.
I corrected myself. I shouldn't have called them that name. I corrected myself, but they're still from Boston, so it had to be
right. Just a big F them from being from Boston. You threw Big Poppy, David Ortiz, Pedro Martinez, and we.
Mr. Jerry Curl himself, Pedro Martinez.
Yep, Mr. Pedro Martinez, and he only had half a Jerry Curl coming out the hat. The other hat was covered. Okay, that hat didn't fit it.
We knew it was a full Jerry Curl. Let's not act like it was not a full Jerry.
It was a full Jerry.
So okay. Well, it's not, listen, I'm not. What I'm saying here is not what. It's all facts. He had a Jerry Curl.
He did, but at least his wasn't as bad as Juan Guzman with the Blue Jays.
Oh,
I mean, his Jerry Curl was
real. It was just
and dripping all over the place. And you wonder why there was a line of Jerry Curl juice between the 6 and the 6 on his jersey, especially if they were at home in the Sky Dome. You wonder what that line was? That was Jerry Curl juice.
Listen, you probably follow the drip from the dugout to where to the mound.
Did you think Cito Gaskin had fear that if he had a bad game, all you have to do is follow the drip from the bullpen to the from the dugout to the mound when he had to go pull Juan Guzman?
Oh man!
Did you think there was any kind of fear with that?
He's like, the only thing I would think I would kind of be afraid of is if anyone in the locker room at that time, because I'm sure that during that time they were allowed to smoke in the locker room. So I don't know if it was flammable. Someone might not want to smoke next to him. You never know.
And that's an era I grew up in.
Well, back then you could smoke anywhere. Back then, back in those times, you could smoke anywhere. They didn't care about cancer.
No one, you can't do that now.
No, no.
You can't do that now, especially with chemicals being more flammable than ever. With chemicals being more flammable than ever. You know, and I grew up on the South Side, and when the Jerry Curl hit, like in the early to mid 80s, everybody was wearing one except me. Mom and Dad weren't having it. Mom and Dad, man, we're not giving you that. And I said, I don't want
it. and you know what? And it's now that I'm old. Well, when I didn't get my first haircut till I was 5 years old. My mom made a promise. Mm-hmm. So when after 5 years old, I stood with a fresh fade, fresh cut. Yeah. And then as I got older, I got picky with who cut my hair. Mm-hmm. And so now I just let it grow. And then when I decided to cut it, I just cut it off. And if I could find myself a barber that I felt comfortable with.
When I first met you, you had a ponytail. I believe you had a lot of hair
No,
when I first
I
met you.
had, yeah, yes. What did I?
Yes.
Yes,
When I
because when I started my podcast, I started the pandemic. Yes, I had
Yep.
started growing my pandemic hair, and I hadn't cut it.
Pandemic.
Yeah, and
Because I remember 3 years ago, you had a lot of hair. There goes Ryan Alberto. Be sure.
be sure. Thank you. But Ryan, you're gonna be not this episode. The one we're probably gonna record Friday.
Mhm.
My apologies, but Mr. Albie Shore will be included on the list because he's
Oh
from that
no,
city. So yes,
he's from that
yes,
city that won't be
yes,
that continues to be mentioned.
yes. Right now, it won't be mentioned right now.
do
So
you
yeah.
do you like just think of these names off the top of your head, or do
No,
you?
I'm researching them actually. I'm
Are
actually
you
researching
researching
them.
this now?
Yes,
Because
now I am
I know that
serious.
first one you rattled them off the top of your head.
Well, the first
You
few
had
ones,
to
yes. The first ones, yeah, the first one was strictly
right up the
off of
top of the head.
who could I remember who I could really think of from Boston that really
Yes.
right at the time was relevant and they know who these people are. So, but yeah,
Right.
yeah. But there was some names added this week.
Oh
And
no.
a
Oh
returning favorite
no.
and a returning favorite came up in this new episode that just came out that just
Oh
released.
no. A return. Oh no.
Yeah. No. We
Um,
had the return. We had the return of Dave Portnoy. Yes.
We'll hit that when we come back. Bizarro Wise joining me here on the program. This is the Brian Snow Show, special 2-hour edition. More with Wise when y'all get back. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
Bizarro Wise joins me on this Wednesday afternoon. First of 2 great guests that we'll have for you, and y'all know who they both are. Okay, you mentioned something that's very, very important to me, and I know she's important to you, and that's the support of your wife. When you have someone in your corner that sees everything and all the potential, and they don't steer you away from it, as a man, how does that feel?
Not just as a man, just as a human. It's just the fact that you have someone. Listen, something about this journey is that you go through so many phases and you go through so many different relationships and you lose people but when you find that person who sees how great you can be and they encourage you to be yourself and encourage you to do what you love. And it was crazy because when we had this conversation, it was like, she says, "Yo, she says, I see how serious you are about this. I see how dedicated you are about doing this and wanting to grow this and make something possible for all of us." And so she's like, "All right, let's do it then. Here, I won't." So she lets me record. But I definitely have to make our time. Like the weekends, I don't record because those are our days. Those are the times we spend together. Those like we'll go on date nights, we'll go out, go eat dinner. But those are the days that we spend together.
Well, you know the story. I've told this often about Jody and how she encourages me. And even recently, when I was so distraught about, helping to bring money into the household, she sat me down and said, "Look, this is what you do. This is your passion. You bring in money this way. I got us for now, but I just believe in you so fiercely that this is going to take off. You concentrate on this. This is what you do. Run with it." That made me cry.
And she's absolutely right. Yeah. She's absolutely right, man. It's and that's why I get frustrated with you sometimes.
Understood.
And that's why I get frustrated with you sometimes. I love you. You're my brother. And the fact that we can be honest with each other and be blunt with each other, that's sometimes why I get frustrated with you. Because you steer away from your vision and you let naysayers bring you down.
Yeah.
And you're bigger than that. And you're bigger than that. You're bigger than that. You sometimes you bring yourself down to their level. And you're bigger and better than that. And I see how great you can be. And I see the potential that you have. And Jody sees the same thing. And Cole sees the same thing. Sometimes we would just love for you to see your potential and see your greatness.
Or as Ray says, that's great. No.
Brother, you have some greatness in you, man. You have some greatness in you.
Well, that's much appreciated.
So when I see you sink down to the Rod West of the world, it frustrates me. It does. It frustrates me because
at the last
you bring yourself down to that and you get distracted and you lose focus.
True.
And then with even the other situation with the other group that we won't be naming either.
No.
Screw them. Don't focus on building Snowman Digital Media because you have something great here. You have an audience that loves you, that wants to see you succeed. Focus on that. Make sure you focus on maintaining your health. First of all, maintaining your health is number one, and doing what you keep doing. You're creating some great content. Bro, your audience is growing. In the last year alone, your audience has grown ridiculous. Where you have live shows where you're having double digits viewership on the show. Like, that's my goal. That's my goal for Stuck in My Mind, is to have a great following that you have on Snowman in the Morning, and you're growing. You're seeing new names every day.
Yeah, like this morning. Like we had a few new guests pop in this morning, and I receive every word that you just said to me, from why you're frustrated with me and what I need to do to get bigger and better and what I need to rise above.
You like I told you, you have some greatness in you. You can do it, but it's up to you. It really is. Don't
Very true.
Stop.
And I
what it is, brother. You know what? You get down in yourself and you start doubting yourself.
Yes, I do.
You start like, oh, woes is me. Oh, woes is me. No. Get up and punch it in the face and keep going. because we all go through struggle. But bro, punch it in the face and keep going. Like, you know what? Don't let that get you down. You battled cancer to beat cancer.
And a recent MRI yesterday came back clear. I just got that word an hour ago, actually. Those results came back an hour ago.
So there should be nothing. You should fear nothing now. Understand? You shouldn't fear.
Yes, sir.
Bro, you got a great life right now. You got a beautiful wife that's supporting you. You got a show that's growing. Stop. Don't worry about what you don't have at the moment. That's going to come. All that's going to come to you, brother. I promise you. Don't focus on that. Focus on the now. Focus on what you're doing now. Focus on what can I do to make this show bigger and better. And all those riches, they're going to come.
I appreciate it.
Because at the same time, you're giving people opportunities. You're giving me an opportunity. You gave me a platform to shine. You're giving deeds. You're giving people opportunities. All that's going to be rewarded. Believe me, it's going to be rewarded, brother.
Well, the first day you sat in for me, when right after I had my surgery, the day of my surgery, and you came on with Cole, and I saw that click, and I said, all right, I know the show's in good hands. And like I said, that night, the day that I had the surgery, I remember going in, I remember going under, and then they brought me in the ICU, and I saw my mother-in-law, I saw my father-in-law, and I saw Jody. And my brain just said, okay, I saw who I needed to see. I can go to sleep. That's the funny spin that I put on it. But anyone who knows me or knows of me knows how vastly important family is to me. And I got to share this as well. The next day, my daughter Cheyenne rings me through Messenger. She was out in Los Angeles. And she looked at me and she teases me to no end, and she goes, Pop, you don't look so good. And instead of laughing, I start crying. I said, baby girl, I don't feel good either. Her next question to me was, do you need me to come to Indianapolis? And without blinking, I said, yes. She hung up, and a day later, she was at IU Med Center in Indianapolis, where I was. And I remember waking up that morning and I see Cheyenne, red hair and all, stroll right through the door with my care team. And she's laying down the law, immediately going, okay, look, this is how it's going to go. And my brain didn't even click that she had walked in the room. I saw her, but it didn't click. It's like, Cheyenne, are you here? Yeah, she was there. She's stayed with me the whole time I was in the hospital. And when I got released, she flew back to Los Angeles. Now she's back home in Cincinnati. And, Jody would come in from work and she and Cheyenne would hang out with me until visiting hours were over. But that right there, that just one of many things that, said, I got some fighting to do. And soon my daughter Sonia came in. My son could never make it. Dakota could never make it because he was working 2 jobs at the time and he was just busy. That I get. But to have the people that visited me while I was at IU Med Center, extraordinary. And then the other trips that I had to make due to some complications. And then I see you and Cole tearing it up on the morning show. I hear Chris Bass, and the first time I hear Chris Bass, when you were sitting in for me, and the nurses heard me like laugh out loud, and they saw me crying, and they thought, "Sir, what's wrong?" And then they hear me laughing. They're like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just watching my morning show and I'm laughing. And then they saw what was going on, and then they start laughing. And they're like, "This is what you do?" I said, "Yeah, when I get well, this is what I'm going to be doing again. When I get back in the chair full time." And now I see it with you and Cole doing mentality. And that Dave Portnoy rant started it all for me.
No.
And then this recent one you did on Dave Portnoy.
Nah, with everything, I've been blessed, man. Like you mentioned bass, just to be able to speak to bass and ask him questions and learn from bass and see him at work.
Yes.
It just makes you want to improve on your craft.
Every day.
When I sit down with you and I sit down with Cole and I sit down with bass, I become a student. Yeah, I ask questions, I goof around it, but at the same time I'm also a student because I want to see how this interaction is going to go, so you can learn you learn that adaptability is one of the great things to have.
One of the things that I'm proud of is the fact that I've been at this for 20 plus years, but I'm not done learning. And I've always said that. I've always said I'm always a student of the game, and I will forever be a student of the game.
Because yes, but it's a different game now. Because now regular people like you and I have our own platforms. Before we were like when we was growing up, we was limited to like 4 channels.
Yes, 4 if you're lucky.
Yeah, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, and whatever local channel they had, WOR here in New York, and whatever.
WOR. You had WR in New York. You had WGN in Chicago.
Yeah. So whatever local channel
is in Atlanta. Yeah. You had all of that.
So we didn't have like what we have now, and where on YouTube you have your own channel,
right?
Or platforms like where I use like Podbean to have my audio podcast that it distributes to all different other platforms.
Yeah,
so it's different now.
So important
as far as media goes, because it gives the little man like you and me an opportunity to build something
and to grow.
To build something large, something that can be ridiculous. It's amazing at all the relationships you build and the people you connect with. You're just like, wow. Just being able to meet all these people that I probably would have never met had this not happened.
No. There's Ryan, WPIX. Yep.
Yes,
channel 11 I think it is right now. WOR.
Channel 11, yes.
And WNYW before it became Fox 5 New York. Or for me in Chicago, it was WFLD before it became Fox 32. Before it became Fox 32, it was just known by its call letters, WFLD.
We didn't have all the channels and all. We didn't have the vast references that we can. Like, if we had to go to the library and look for something, we had to go to reference cards and
microfiche. You had to look under basically a microscope for it.
you never like. With the way technology is now, you have everything at your fingertips.
Yeah.
So you walk around with a portable computer in your hand.
All the time.
Like, we didn't have this growing up, man. We didn't carry like the internet. That's what's crazy, because like with our generation, we've seen the difference. We've seen the dial-ups, we've seen the beginning of the internet and all this craziness and all this.
Oh yeah.
So we're tough enough because of the way we were brought up and all the things we've experienced. We're the real last generation of kids that really spent time outside, running around, falling, scraping our knees, and
falling,
and,
scraping our
and
knees,
enjoying our lives as kids.
grass stains all over the place from whatever we were doing, whether it was chasing each other, playing football or baseball or whatever.
Whatever, yeah, riding a bike. Like I seen a video of a bike, like these kids sitting down and watching these other kids jump over other kids. And I'm like, damn, we used to do that. We used to actually try to build ramps and try to
Yes.
jump them as little kids.
And you couldn't find enough material to make the ramp big enough to jump over the doggone thing.
They could never find the other side
You
to
could
match that.
never, and you can't go in your parents' garage to try to pull out anything there, because if one piece comes up missing, they're going to find out you're the one that pulled it, and that would cost you.
Yeah,
That would cost you.
It's just crazy. And then I was watching Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and he spoke about growing up in Brownsville, and I'm from East New York, which is right next to Brownsville, right? And he talked about how he was growing up. There was nothing but vacant lots and abandoned buildings, and same thing in East New York. It was the same way, and he spoke on how they used to play in the abandoned buildings. It brought back flashbacks, because that's how we grew up. Listen, when we grew up in the hood and in the ghetto, but we found ways, and we ran through these buildings, and he spoke about jumping through windows and landing on a bunch of piles of mattresses that we would find and stack them up. And
oh yeah,
you get I was like, and it just brought back memories and flashbacks to how I was raised, man. It's a different time now.
It's a much different time. I mean, there was I'm a baseball rat. Growing up on the South Side, there was this old doctor's building, about a block and a half away from my parents' house, and there was this big X on the back end of it. We used to play this game called Strikeout, where if you hit the X at any time, it was a strike, no matter if you swung at it or not. And the way this building was, we had like 10-foot base paths around whoever was pitching, and if you hit it across the street, it was an automatic home run, no matter who had. And if you gave up the home run, you had to go retrieve the ball.
So we had something like on my block. My aunt had her little social club, and it stuck out. So it was a big wall on the side.
Yep.
And so they built they put a square. They spray paint a square.
Yep.
And that's where we play stickball. And that was the strike zone. Listen, it was crazy. And then if you hit it across the street, or if you roofed the ball, you were out, and you had to go buy another ball.
Yep. You had to go buy another ball.
If you hit the home run, and if there was a possibility that if it hit a certain spot, that it would continue going.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would go a couple of streets down. So
it would go a couple of blocks. It would go a couple of blocks down, and you could walk around the bases by the time whoever had to go retrieve the ball retrieved it and got back. You just had to make sure you crossed the plate for everything to count. Because if you don't, if you could run around the bases like 3 times, it was 3 runs. No matter who had to get the ball to come back. And most of the time for us, it was the pitcher who gave it up had to go retrieve the ball, and you run around the bases as many times as you want.
Yeah. But it was a different time. A lot of guys hit cars. Like I've ran into quite a few parked cars.
So have I. I've run into quite a few parked cars. Play football on the street where you run into parked cars. Or
I remember playing one time and fracturing my wrist on the concrete.
There was once I played football. We were playing in the middle of the street, and the game was just about over because the street lights were getting ready to come on, and we knew we had to time it. And we had to be in before the street lights came on. So we were down to the last possession, and one of my good friends was the quarterback, and I just kept trying to cover 4 or 5 different receivers in the area. And I'm thinking, okay, he's just going to toss it over my head. The game's going to be over. We can go home. Nope. I don't know what got into me, but he threw it where one of the receivers was going to undercut me and make the catch. Nope. Somehow I snagged it and sprinted the other way.
Yeah, no.
I dropped the ball, and I said, "Okay, pick 6. We're going home."
Listen, and it was crazy because we were crazy. Like, we would go to the park and we would play tackle football on concrete. There's something wrong with us. Now I sit down and think about it, there was something wrong with it. Instead of going to a regular natural park. Yeah, no, it was instead of going to the park and doing it on some grass or something, we decided to do it on some concrete. Yeah, no. There was definitely something wrong with us.
And you wake up sore as hell the next day.
Oh, listen, you wake up pissed. You wake up pissed because you got scratches everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you can remember when that guy shouldn't have touched you because you didn't have no ball. It's just different times, man. Like, yeah.
You know what I miss also? Going to arcades. I miss going to arcades, man.
I had a funny arcade experience one time.
Oh boy, it
wasn't funny because it involved me getting jumped, so it wasn't funny.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
But no, believe me, no, I was no sucker, so they caught some hands. But so I go into this arcade. It was a Blimpies, and and I'll go play, and they had the video games, and I was quite a few blocks from my block, and once you cross, it's Linden Boulevard, and once you cross the other side of Linden Boulevard, that's where all the projects are, and where I lived, that was considered more private houses, and so we go to the Blimpies, and I go in, spend whatever cash I had. And when I'm leaving, this guy comes up to me and goes, "Oh, yo, let me get some change." I'm like, "I ain't got none." And he's like,
"Oh boy."
So if I go into your pockets and reach and find, I'll say, if you go into my pockets, you're gonna find something different. You're gonna find me punching you in the face. Like, you're gonna catch these hands, basically.
Yes.
And when I said that, it's like out of nowhere, like, no lie, like 6, 7 dudes just came out of nowhere.
Oh no.
And so what I did was, bro, I snuffed the one dude and just kept it, and they just started jumping me, and I refused to go down because I knew if I fell down, it was a wrap. It was gonna be over. So right next to the Blimpies was a McDonald's. So I was like, yo, if I could get to McDonald's and get into McDonald's, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I dragged homeboy with me. I was getting laid. They were laying me, but I was not going down. I refused to go down because I'm saying in New York they wear Timbs. I'm not getting stomped. I'm not getting stomped. I refused.
Right.
So I get to the McDonald's. They snatched this little chain I had on, and moral of the story was I did not get stomped. But I was not going to fall down, and that was my last experience of going to arcade by myself without my homeboys.
Understood.
That was the last time I caught slipping. Believe me. Yeah, no.
There were 2 main arcades I would go to. One is in Evergreen Plaza, and one is on Ford City, both on the south side. And I would go on days where all the teenagers were out because I would go on weekends because my parents had a strict rule during the week. You knock out your homework, you knock out your schoolwork, and if you did good then you're okay. Well, one Saturday I decided, I'm going to go to Evergreen Plaza, or as they called it back in the day, Everblock Plaza. Figure out the rest. And I went in and I saw Pac-Man, and I saw a couple pinball machines I wanted to play. But I wanted to hit Pac-Man. Yeah. I played like 4 different games, and there were some kids trying to corner me and surround me. And they say, "Hey, What if we took your wallet and you couldn't play anymore? You take my wallet, I'm going to punch you in the throat. Well, they tried taking my wallet, and I had no choice but to keep my word. I punched them in the throat, and they left me alone. And the manager comes over to me, and I'm thinking, oh, boy, I'm going to get chewed out. Nope. He puts his arm around me and says, whatever game you want to play, whatever food you want is on the house. Thank you for getting those hoodlums out of the arcade. I say, I'm sick and tired of people thinking I'm a punk because I'm a nerd, because I love video games. So when someone tried to pat my pocket, I laid him out. I laid him out. That's how I got tired of it.
I was not and it's crazy because I don't know. I was a hybrid. I love reading comics. I love video games, but I also was I was very active in sports. I played baseball. I played football. You know what I'm saying, so it was. I knew the cool kids and I knew the nerds.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hung out in both worlds.
Yeah.
So for me, it was different. It was just different for me as far as I've always been able to adapt and fit in anywhere. It's never really been an issue for me to really and like I said, I'm right now I have a bunch of comic books and paraphernalia and I got my Yankee Stadium behind me, and that's Iron Man also behind me. But I also got my quotes and stuff. And it's just me. It's just being able to just enjoy what I enjoy and not care what anyone jokes about. Like I could care less
you are.
Yeah, I could care less if you think I'm a nerd. Yeah, I am.
It's who you are. I love it. It's who you are, and I love it. And Wise, we love you. Wise El Jefe joining us here on the first part of the Brian Snow Show this afternoon. Wednesdays with Wise here in the house with us. And man, I love you dearly. I'm looking forward to the Stuck in My Mind podcast this afternoon. You kick ass, my man. I love you.
Thank you, brother, for having me. I appreciate you having me on. And bro, it's to me, like I always say, I'm grateful to you for what you've brought to my life. Like you've helped me develop as a man and develop as a podcaster, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate all the relationships you've helped me build. Like if it wasn't for you, me and Cole wouldn't have I would have never met Ben. I would have never met Ryan McCarthy, Sick Diggy, Vicola. It's everybody, bro. It's
man.
It's all these relationships that now have flourished and have helped me build something. So thank you, brother, for everything you've done. And you know, when I tell you stuff, it's not because I just tell you stuff because you're my brother, man. And I know that we can be honest with each other and we can speak our minds. And like I said, it's just sometimes I just got to tell you some things. I just got to let it off my chest because I need you to hear it.
And I'm glad you did. I'm so glad you did. Thank you, brother, so much. I love you. You have a kick-ass show today.
I appreciate it, brother. Love you too, man.
Wise El Jefe joining us on the first part of the Brian Snow Show. We have a second part to this, and that'll come your way when we get there. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Sure. We all know ghosts exist.
I'm getting a really dark energy.
But if you trying to hunt them, there's one simple rule you gotta follow.
What the hell was that? Guys, hurry up and get the hell out of there.
No matter what happens, stay calm.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, my God! Oh, hell no!
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Okay, that's a balloon. It looked like it was a demon.
Wow.
We be fly for nothing. We be fly for nothing. O-E-O, mucho. Run it.
So where are we going?
A haunted pinata shop.
What?
An old Korean brothel.
Oh, Lord.
A funeral home in Compton?
Yeah.
You don't like us, do you?
It's business.
I get fly for nothing. I roll with OPO.
Official paranormal operations, baby.
We got infrared cameras set up all over the place.
Whatever's in there, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Y'all down with it?
What the is this? I have robot strapped to my abdomen.
What the hell is going on?
Are you with us right now?
Gentlemen, you okay?
Guys, we got action.
I feel like something's in here.
Don't nobody want you with us.
Man, they got some going down in there.
It could be a succubus.
Suck you, huh?
It's an energy that feeds upon you in a sexual way. Like,
Not with the teeth like that?
oh, yeah.
We be fly for nothing.
All right, investigation's over. This bitch is haunted as
This is Brett, and you're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had a workout with the Cincinnati Bengals. Signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in. The Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
And then we got Lions wide receiver Williams is debuting this week as a starter. That's something to look at as far as the eye test goes. And then another one on the eye test is Mostert might be coming back to Miami. and we can see if he has a role in this offense, and see if he can be viable for the next couple weeks coming and help us in the playoffs, and possibly towards a championship. That would be very nice because he's sitting on my bench right now.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Oh, you thought I was done? Shame on you. I'm feeling pretty good. I had a lot of people ask me, how would you feel if you did a 2-hour afternoon show? I said, that's going to depend on strength. Well, it's getting there. And now, some more random musings. Did it yesterday, we're going to do it today. Victor Locke joins me for the second edition of the Random Musings of Victor Locke. And I can't believe I pronounced it that way. What up, Vic?
How are you, Snowman? Oh, and to verify, it is still called Everblack Plaza to this day. That has not changed.
Why am I not surprised?
We're afraid of change here. We're afraid of change.
Very few things do change. All right. Considering what I ended the morning show with, and you wanted to lay some random musings on us about another certain group because we already attacked the moronic views of Cowboys Nation.
Yes.
I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Where do you want to go?
All right. So here we go. The Fandom Menace. And no, we're not talking about people who just like source material to remain the source material they had and people want to change it. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 3 groups of fandoms that have made it so hard for anyone else to enjoy the sport.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Here it comes.
We'll go from lowest tier to top tier. So the lowest tier is Cubdom. These individuals, they're like ants at a picnic. They're not really dangerous, but they're just really, really annoying. They cause an inconvenience.
They're really, really stupid.
Because most people just ignore them and they go away. But they don't really go away. You would think, but they don't go away.
They really don't go away.
This is a group that believe in a team so blindly that in 2003, they chased a fan out of town. And fed a baseball a steak and lobster dinner.
A final meal.
Before blowing it.
I remember we told Cole that on the air. We told Cole that on the air, and he couldn't believe
I've never seen Cole look so confused. I've never seen Cole look confused. Oh, and I do apologize, Wise, but I did make a suggestion that Dak Prescott should watch more Mentality to kind of get his manhood together.
Oh, he knows. Because he's got no man card.
Because I know Wise like, don't you volunteer him over here.
That just can't happen.
No. That's the first one. That's the low tier. We get to the middle tier, and that is, of course, the moronic republic of Cowboys Nation.
Dear God.
The ones who literally sat there and tried to argue with me about officials spotting the football.
Yeah, we had a few of those conversations on draft night.
This is someone who has played the game in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And has watched the game for many years.
And this is someone who's called the game for 27 years.
Exactly. We kind of know the rules of this game here.
You would think they defer to us because we do know the damn rules.
No, because unfortunately, since we don't have the rose-colored glasses, we're not real fans. Well, you're not a fan at all because you're a 49er fan. Even though you do have some love for like Troy Aikman Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin.
I love those guys. I mean, my fans with the 49ers, don't get it twisted, but at the same time, I love who I love when it comes to football.
And
all I can think of is, really?
But these are the people who will sit there and tell you, we're going to Super Bowl next year. With what?
Oh, Jesus.
What do you have that constitutes to a Super Bowl title? Or even getting out of the wild card. If we get to the wild card, because Lord knows the NFC East looks like the NFC Beast. And we as the Cowboys are the NFC least. It's bad. But of course, since it is Wednesday, we get to the upper echelon. The top tier of the unholy trinity of the fandom menace, and that is, of course, bronze sexuals. It is one thing to have a blind obsession over a team and believe the team is going to win every game and every playoff. It is another when all of that lauding and hoopla goes onto one single player.
I borrowed from you this morning, and thank you for this word. What you mean?
Oh my God. I have to tell this story.
You must.
The origin of what you mean. I am in a small chat with a couple other people.
Yes.
Where we speak about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And
knowledgeably, I might add.
And the name LeBron James comes up.
Oh, dear Lord.
And I said, LeBron James is not the GOAT. He's not even top 10. I don't even think he's even top 15. There's just too many other guys who have been before him, have done it better than him.
Yes. Yes.
And the first response I got was one word. What you mean? You mean what do I mean? No. What you mean?
They repeated it?
Spelled that way.
Wait a minute. Hold it. They repeated it?
They repeated it and spelled it exactly how I spell it. That's how they spelled it.
Stop it.
I sat there for a good 15 minutes like, what kind of word is this? What you mean? What do I mean? I mean Jordan, Bird, Magic, Ewing, Kareem.
Yeah, all of them. All this.
Malone, Stockton, Rodman, Robinson.
Yeah, both Malones, Moses and Carl.
Larry Johnson,
mm-hmm.
Dr. J, Daryl Dawkins,
mm-hmm.
Hakeem Olajuwon, Dikembe Mutombo. Should I go further? Alonzo Mourning.
Tom Chambers.
Isaiah Thomas.
Joe Dumars.
Charles Barkley.
Vinnie Johnson.
Jerry Stackhouse. Clyde Drexler.
Clyde the Glide Drexler.
And every time I brought up these, I said, do I need to go further? And I got, again, for the third time, the response of, what you mean?
Dear Lord. Do these people ever quit?
No.
Do these people quit?
Here's the big problem with bronze sexuals. This is why everyone has a strong distaste for bronze sexuals. We've had fanatics of certain players. There's been Kobe. There's been Kobe-ites. There's been people who are fans of AI, the AI bots.
Yes.
The difference is this. These other fan bases can acknowledge that this is a generational question.
Mm-hmm.
That I lived in days of Jordan, so that's my GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
People who live in days of the Doctor, they're going to go with him. People who live in the days of the Showtime Lakers, Magic and Freeman the crew, they're going to go there. People from Boston, sorry-wise, are going to say Bird.
Hated Boston, but I love Larry Bird. All right, let me stop tripping. I love that front court they put together. Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, the Chief.
So we all know that there's layers to this game, but only the Bronzexuals will sit there and denigrate every other group, every other player, every other generation just to prop up this man. And then, as if they're not annoying and obnoxious enough.
Oh, jeez. There's more.
When Bron wins,
oh, God.
Everyone says, oh, see, Bron's a one-man army. He's a one-man record crew. Can't nobody touch him. But when Bron loses, and loses bad,
he gets no blame.
They're like, well, he needs help. He's not a one-man army. He can't do it on his own. You said this last year he was.
2016, hello.
2016. 2012.
2011.
2013. The next year, like when he won, everyone's like, this is all LeBron. It was just him. He was the only man there. But when it's not, when he loses, it's almost like, well, he needs help. He can't do it on his own. And all of us, knowledgeable basketball fans, like, we know that he needs help. It's you guys who are the back line.
We never said anything to the contrary.
And so it becomes so annoying because these people, their delusion poisons your viewing of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And even the journalism. I mean, look at Ryan Hollins. I always listen to Ryan Hollins. I think he needs to get drug tested. And then we get to the biggest anomaly of all, Nick Wrong.
Oh, jeez.
I maintain that Nick Wrong, if he ever ends up on divorce court, one of those reasons is going to be is that his wife would wish he would defend her the way he defends LeBron.
They're idiots saying idiot things because they're idiots.
Exactly.
Thank you, Ryan McCoffey.
Thank you, McCoffey. But then I go to but now that we've exposed the problem, the question comes to the solution. How do we fix this? Well, it's very simple. All of the knowledgeable, true, critical thinking fans have to unite and stop the madness.
There's a problem.
I believe, and maybe this is where you and I may disagree, I believe that there are some knowledgeable Cub fans that say, look, our team is garbage. We need to fix it.
Yes, there are.
I believe there are some.
I believe there are too.
And I think they need to rise up and tell Cubdom, shut up.
Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't too many of them left.
Well, that's true, because a lot of them go back to teams.
There ain't too many of them left.
Same thing with Cowboys Nation. Same thing with us.
Geez.
I believe the rational thinking Cowboys fans need to rise up against the moronic Republic of Cowboys Nation and tell them, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Our team is trash. We need to fix it. Our ownership is nuclear trash. Is biohazard waste that needs to go away.
Mm-hmm.
That's our ownership.
Yes.
Instead of calling it Jerry World, let's call it the Ranch or something.
The Ranch? Wait a minute. They call it the Ranch?
No, I'm saying we should call it the Ranch. Just get Jerry's name off of our stadium, please. And all of the knowledgeable basketball fans, of course, I'm talking about you, Mr. Cole Johnson, Wise El Jefe, the playmaker who does phenomenal work when it comes to basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We need to rise up against Bronzexuals and tell them, look, you can like LeBron. You can say he's a fantastic athlete. I mean, and I always maintain this ever since he stepped foot to court. Say what you want about how he got his money.
Mhm.
This is a young black man who came into money at a very young age, 18 years old,
Yep.
born in a single parent, raised in a single parent home.
Agreed.
And besides the decision, maybe a couple things on social media, he's never been in a scandal.
True.
There's no arrest record for him. There's no act as domestic violence. Maybe it's infidelity, but not domestic violence. Nothing dealing with mistresses. Nothing. The guy is
Nothing of
squeaky clean.
Nothing of that.
And he's giving back to his community. Hats off to you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
A shining example that even if you have been dealt a bad hand, you can make something out of it.
Oh yeah.
And become a success.
Every time.
And so I give LeBron all of that.
Mhm.
But the best basketball player to ever play the game, stop. Please. Stop riding the joystick. Put the joy juice away.
But see, what if they have an endless supply?
Throw it away. Pour it down the drain.
He said pour it down the drain.
But that's the only way we're going to actually get our sports back is if we start going against these fringe fan bases that take over our fan base.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because and look, yes, I call abuse all the time, but I'm laughing at the same time because I know that this is against the idiots that are part of my fandom. So I'm not taking it personally. I'm not taking it personally that you guys talking about me. But my God, at some point, we need to understand that the fringe group, the fandom menace, needs to go away. I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, Ryan, there's going to be some fringe when it comes to the Jets. Now that Mr. Ayahuasca has now laid his planted his flag there. So Ryan's gonna get caught in that fight too. And now Tyrita Pinkett Smith. Now, Snowman.
Yes.
Didn't Kyrie leave Cleveland to get away from Ron?
I would like to think so because he's a total. I'm sorry. That slipped. I'm sorry. He would like to think that he's the man, but he's a total. I'm sorry. That slipped again.
You will not cuss. You will not cuss. You will not cuss. You will not cuss. You will not swear.
I'm gonna cuss anyway.
So now, why is Kyrie now wanting LeBron to come to Dallas?
Tiger, uppercut.
I don't understand. Why on earth would you have him come to Dallas? We already have to deal with the Marana Republic of Cowboys Nation. The last thing we need is for them and the Brownsexuals to fuse together. We do not need that.
Oh, jeez.
We do not need that. Please do not.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. The problem is with you know how that's said.
Not my case.
Not mine either. He's the type who says to his community, I was able to overcome. Unfortunately, you can't. Close quote, but this is a different discussion for a different day. And Ryan, you need to be a part of that discussion.
Yeah.
Ryan needs to be a part of that discussion.
I think what's so aggravating about that, what's so aggravating about that is how many times are we going to have to see these delusional people take over media? Not just regular media, but social media too.
Oh, God.
You cannot imagine my embarrassment when I saw someone sit there and tweet that Dak Prescott is a Hall of Famer.
What?
Yeah. You know, that thing that Cole sent you?
Timeout. This is Hall of Fame. Stop. Penalty flag on the field. I remember it, but I want you to say it again. A what?
A Dak Prescott is a Hall of Famer. I get what they were trying to say, but even at that point, why are you lying to people? Dak Prescott loved the kid's arm, wish he was a lot more mentally strong, but he is nowhere near a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
If he's a Hall of Famer, then so should Tony Romo.
Oh, dear Lord.
We both know that's not true.
No, Tony Romo. No. He is a farmer, not a Hall of Famer. Thank you, Deets. Now Deets getting in on the fun.
One of my fellow brothers in arms in terms of the rational cowboy army.
Very rational. And I've got to do this for you.
Okay.
Dak Prescott or Tony Romo, Hall of Famer.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying?
I'm Bigelow and I approve that message.
Dak Prescott, a Hall of Famer.
You fool!
And then we get to like Pollard and Zeke Elliott. Again, Zeke Elliott was a center. I thought he was a running back, but apparently they thought he was a center.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Help me understand this.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. Zeke Elliott at center.
And the fact that you guys gave us a timeout, a gift.
We gave you an extra 45 seconds.
An extra 45 seconds to think this over. And yet we still said, nope, we're really, really sure on this one.
Sorry.
That's on the fandom menace is that we need to erase it, but the only way to erase it is if we start holding them accountable. Look them in the eye, sit them down and say, this can't
work.
Stop it. LeBron is not the GOAT.
Just sit down and say, this don't work.
The Cubs are trash. The Cowboys are trash right now. And they can get better, but we have to force them to get better. I do not like Stephen A. Smith. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that by now. But
no. If the Cowboys fandom and the Bronzexuals were to come together, it would be the South Park episode with the smug storm that destroys San Francisco.
Agreed. Absolutely agree.
I agree with that.
I absolutely agree. Because just the smugness of these people, I think that's what really aggravates a lot of fans is just there's a sense of entitlement by these groups, by the Bronzexuals, by Cubdom, by Cowboys Nation, of just we're better than everyone else.
Can you separate one group from the other, or are they all three of these groups just melded together?
No, you can't. You can separate them because majority of Cowboys Nation only really cares about the Cowboys. They don't really care about basketball like that.
Right.
So they don't really care about LeBron, and especially because LeBron's not in Dallas anyway. So, and let him stay not in Dallas. So they're not really thinking about LeBron or the Cubs. No one's about the Cubs anyway. Cubdom just cares about Cubdom. That's it.
You're so stupid.
Cubdom just cares about Cubdom. That's it. They don't care about anything else.
Truth.
Bronzexuals only care about LeBron. They don't care about anything else. So yes, you can separate them, But in terms of the traits they share, the entitlement, the delusion, the arrogance, that's something that they do share. Which is why, again, I said, please do not let LeBron come to Dallas. Otherwise, oh my God.
Scary, isn't it?
The moronic republic of Cowboys Nation will eventually convert to being bronsexuals as well. And that is a mutation I do not want to be part of or see.
I don't want to be a part of that mutation either. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going back in the day and take a stroll down memory lane. Random musings of Vicola when y'all get back. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals, chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Sure. We all know ghosts exist.
I'm getting a really dark energy.
But if you trying to hunt them, there's one simple rule you gotta follow.
What the hell was that? Guys, hurry up and get the hell out of there.
No matter what happens, stay calm.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, my God! Oh, hell no!
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Okay, that's a balloon. It looked like it was a demon.
Wow. We be fly for nothing. We be fly for nothing. O-E-O, mucho. Run it.
So where are we going?
A haunted pinata shop.
What?
An old Korean brothel.
Oh, Lord. A funeral home in Compton?
Yeah.
You don't like us, do you?
It's business.
I get fly for nothing. I roll with O-P-O.
Official paranormal operations, baby.
We got infrared cameras set up all over the place.
Whatever's in there, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Y'all down with it?
What the is this? I have robot strapped to my abdomen.
What the hell is going on?
Are you with us right now?
You okay?
Guys, we got action.
I feel like something's in here.
Don't nobody want you with us.
Man, they got some going down in there.
It could be a succubus.
Suck you, huh?
It's an energy that feeds upon you in a sexual way. Like,
Not with the teeth like that?
oh, yeah.
We be fly for nothing.
All right, investigation's over. This bitch is haunted as
where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
It's the random musings of Vic Allah on this Wednesday. And I think that's how I'm going to deem Wednesdays from now on. As I'll make this announcement now. Beginning July 10th, we're going to change the time and the length of the Brian Snow Show because there's a lot that we're going to do to put it in place. That's why I'm waiting until the 10th. I'll be back from vacation. The holiday will be over. I'll announce more as we go along here. Victor Locke joins me here on the program. And I asked this question to you before, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it now. And I want to get some responses from the folks in the chat also. If there was one video game that ate up all your allowance, or your top three, if there were, what are your top three video games that ate up all your allowance, man?
Well, I'm going to say first and foremost, every Saturday, my dad and my mom would make it a point to go to Chicago Ridge Mall.
Uh-huh.
And we would go to Aladdin's Castle. Small arcade, but at such value. And
yes.
The first one will be Killer Instinct 2. My dad would get
hard 2.
Yep.
I love it.
Every time my dad will give us $20 each in tokens. And
I would go lose it.
And we would lose. I would use half of mine playing Killer Instinct 2. It would only take me two tries to finish the whole game, but I would still play it. I would still play it every single time. That's the first one. The second one would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one was actually the Mask pinball game.
Oh, you like pinball too?
Oh, I love pinball. Absolutely adore pinball. In fact, on my phone, I have a game app that has a bunch of pinball games.
Nice.
I'm talking about Rescue 911, Addams Family, Attack on Mars, like everything. Incredible.
You know, when I was going through a tough time in Chicago, and I'd hang out at Union Station, there was this Addams Family pinball game that I would just every buck that I would get, half of it would go in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Half of it would go in that pinball machine. You remember a series of games called Cruising?
Yes, Cruising USA, Cruising World. Yep.
I couldn't figure out Cruising World to save my life.
Oh, he's got a really good one. T2 with the gun. That was a really good
Terminator 2.
Whenever you return to Chicago, there is a place that we need to hit up.
And it's called?
I believe it's called One Up. It is a arcade. Pretty much, it's like an arcade palace, if you really want. We went with my company in 2019. When I say there are games everywhere, there are games everywhere. There's even a park called Pinball Row. Wow. Pinball Row. Because it's pinball games everywhere. It's absolutely incredible. And that's where we had my last Christmas party was there with that company. That's when we got to hit up.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the first games that ate every piece of my allowance.
The eater of many quarters.
That ate all my allowance.
I actually got turned on to the whole Pac-Man craze by Miss Pac-Man because when I went, because my dad would take me to this place called Chuck's Pizza. It's still there, right off. Yes, right off of I believe 101st and I believe not Halstead.
Mm-hmm.
Western.
Western. Okay.
Western.
I think I know where that is.
Yes. And we would go in and they would have this chopper game, but they always had Miss Pac-Man. And I would play as much as I could until the pizza got done.
Yep.
Because my dad would always go and order it, and then we would just sit there and wait for the pizza to get made.
Mm-hmm.
Take it home as hot and fresh.
Yes.
I believe I went through $5 every time I went there. And that's when the game was 25 cents each.
I remember one of the first times I went to an arcade by myself.
Mm-hmm.
All I kept hearing all day whenever I played a game was,
I think another game that you used to play a lot was Pole Position.
Prepare to qualify. You know what I hated about Pole Position? You know what I hate about Pole Position 2? Or both of them? You know what I hate about Pole Position? And I wore my allowance out playing Pole Position.
Mm-hmm.
All right? What I hated about both of those games was you do all this work to prepare to qualify.
Right.
And you're thinking, okay, that's the end of the game. Nope. And then you hear, good driving. Now it's time to race. What?
Exactly.
You mean I did all that work and I'm not done yet?
The first thing that came to Brian's mind, once they said, good driving, now it's in the race, was, what you mean?
That's exactly what came to mind. That is exactly what came to mind. What you mean? Here's another one from Deets. Off-road tournament with friends. Always sucked money. Yeah, it did.
Yes, it did.
Off-road. Listen, I discovered off-road when I went away to college in 1990. Used to kick my ass every time.
Two more games that were really, really good and ate up a lot of money. NBA Showtime.
Yes.
And Blitz.
I discovered NBA Showtime in 1999. Well, again, going through a rough time, and I would hang out at the Greyhound station in Chicago.
Right.
Finally had a chance to play it. I didn't last 2 quarters. And I don't mean 2 3-minute quarters either. I'm talking about 50 cents worth of quarters.
Yeah.
I know the first time I played NBA, one of the first times I played NBA Jam, I was in North Carolina back in the 90s. I had a 12-point lead with like a minute left. And I hear the announcer say, the nail in the coffin. I'm thinking, okay, I got this on lockdown. Nope. I lost 58 to 57.
Oh.
58 to at the horn.
At the horn.
I lost at the horn. Right in the gut. Right in the gut, man.
That was me with NFL Blitz. I remember I won. I was winning by a field goal. Fourth quarter, and all I needed to do was, if I score a touchdown, because it was already like second and 10.
Game, set, match.
All I gotta do is get a first down. I'm good. Because then the time will run out.
Speaking of NFL Blitz, let me see if I got that.
Yep. I picked the safest route possible.
And it
that would leave my receiver wide open. All you have to do is catch the ball. Somehow, some way, the defender who was in the middle of the field shot over to the right, interception. And then, because he had got the fire buff, we kept trying to grab him. He actually trucked through all of us. Touchdown, game over.
He returned it all the way.
I was so angry.
I bet you were. I played NFL Blitz once and I got lucky. I got lucky the one time I played NFL Blitz.
I got better.
Tail kicked.
I got better when I got home though, because my uncle had it. He actually let me play it a lot.
Right.
So I got better at it, but my God, I was so angry.
I bet. That was me with NBA Jam back in North Carolina. I got to share this story with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Victor and I lived together for about 2 years. Actually, longer than that.
No,
2.5 years. And this is why I hate NHL 94 to this day. Because somehow Victor got it on his laptop.
Yes.
I came in from a game and I had a headache bigger than the St. Louis Arena. And I saw his door close and I said, all right, Victor's probably going to play his video games. I'm going to bed. And I put my headphones on. Thinking I'm not going to hear a thing.
Yep.
Wrong. I hear this incessant. I woke up and went, what the hell is that? And the bad part is Victor had the volume low. All right. Victor had the volume low. Okay. I don't know how I heard it through my headphones, which were bigger than these for those of you watching on CSTV and those of you watching on YouTube. Bigger than these that I have now. You remember the big set of headphones I had?
Yeah.
Covered both my ears so I can just sleep. Nope. Turns out Victor played with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yes, I did.
And every 35 seconds I hear, what the hell? I got up, I marched into his room, and I said, Victor, I have a royal headache. Give me this button. Give me this button. I said, Victor, I have a royal headache. And Victor's looking at me going, I'm sorry, I know, but do me a favor. He says, what's that? Turn that down. So what Victor did, bless his heart, he put in his earbuds.
Yep.
So I put my headphones back on. I cue up a sleep tonic, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to fall right to sleep. And I'm sleeping on the couch. I didn't even make it to my room. I was hurting so bad. Wrong again. Wrong again. About 2 minutes later, I hear this, and I went nuts. I went off. And Victor, I come in and I'm just wailing on Victor in the shoulder. And Victor goes, why are you beating me?
Oh, what are you beating me for? I turned it down. I put my headset in.
I know you did.
Shut up.
Every sound I made, I punched him in the, like, shut up. And I kept pausing every time I pushed him. Victor's laughing at this. And then Victor coupled it with, why are you giving me a beating? And by the time I got done, I laughed so hard I fell asleep.
Right.
I fell asleep. I woke up. I felt bad the next day. I went in. Victor's knocked out. And, okay, I said, all right, I'm not going to wake him up. I'll apologize to him later. 30 seconds later, Victor gets up in the kitchen frying chicken. I ain't been asleep 30 seconds, and I'm smelling this wonderful aroma. I walk in, and I got a sheepish look on my face, and I go, I'm kind of sorry I went off. And Victor's dying at this point.
Yes.
Victor's dying at this point. And I said, you're not mad at me? And Victor's in a pool full of tears laughing. I said, I thought you'd be mad at me for beating the hell out of you. He said, are you kidding? I thought I did everything possible to make sure you wouldn't hear the siren.
Right. And I even say it wasn't my fault that at that time the St. Louis Blues sucked. Because that was always the Stanley Cup final for my when I was playing.
For your game. Yes.
It was St. Louis
they were playing the St. Louis Blues. And I think one time you beat them like what, 23-8?
It was 23-8.
23-8.
Yep. What's crazy to me is the first time that I came over there. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna just put this out. I had a falling out with my dad.
Yep.
And because I wasn't doing my thing. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And I freely admit that.
Same here.
So I had to pack up. They gave me a deadline to leave. I took that deadline and left. And I was looking around for like motels near so I could park, get myself situated and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called Brian and I asked him, do you know what the going rates are for hotels in terms of monthly? And Brian said, why are you doing it? I said, well, I don't really have a place to go right now. And I told him what happened. And before I could say anything else, he said, come to Gary.
Mm-hmm.
What you mean? You know what I mean.
It's the what you mean hour.
Bring your tail to Gary.
I said, bring your out here to Gary right now.
And so I moved over there with all my stuff, and we just sat and talked. And it got to nighttime, and Brian had trouble sleeping.
Yes.
I said, well, I have a couple songs that I put as my sleep tonic.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was ID by an individual by the name of Fat John.
Oh, God, yes.
And Brian's like, this song? I said, yes, trust me.
Man, the moment you put it on, I was zonked out. I was out.
We put the song on, we're talking, and both of us down for the count. I mean,
within 30 seconds, we were out.
Mike Tyson uppercuts for everybody.
Big time uppercut. Big time uppercuts for all. We were out.
Yes.
And then I found this little gem. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. I found this little gem from Adult Swim.
Yeah.
There was a little tune from Adult Swim, and I can't remember the name of it right now. This is me getting old. But then I decided to grow the playlist while Victor was at work. And I knew he'd come in just shy of 2:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And Victor could not sleep for anything.
No.
And I said, Victor, I got a present for you. Let me try to find that Adult Swim tune right now. You know what? I know what it is. I know what the title is. I just have to find it. And it was, where is it? I can't find it. I'm looking on my computer for this. I can't find the darn thing. Dadgummit. It was World Without Words.
Oh, okay. I know.
That was the title. World Without Words. That's one of my editing pieces that I throw on, and I have it extended for an hour. And then I decided to add to it. Now, all of y'all that are fans of Street Fighter.
Yes.
And all of y'all fans of Street Fighter will recognize this tune. All credits due to its creators, to Capcom. And I said, Victor, I have something to add to the list. He said, there's nothing you can add to our playlist that will help knock me out. I said, yeah, take this. And again, Victor says, what you mean? And out.
Out. Knocked all the way out.
Knocked all the way cold. Knocked all the way cold.
Yep. Completely knocked out.
Wake up the next day, and Victor goes, "What did you play?" I said the theme from Sagat from Street Fighter. He says, "Well, you can't include that on that list. Why not? Because the moment you play it, I'm going to be out. Isn't that the idea?" He goes, "Well, yeah." And that next day, before Victor went to work, I will tell y'all a guilty pleasure for me is Law and Order SVU. And my dad got me hooked on Law and Order. Jody posed a question to me when we first started dating. She says, "Who was your celebrity crush?" And I'm thinking, if I answer this question, I'm going to get my ass kicked. No, I didn't. And she says, "Come on, let me have it. Who is it?" I said, "Are you familiar with Law and Order SVU?" And a big wide grin crossed her face. And she goes, "Mariska Hargitay, isn't it?" I said, "Yes." And Jody goes, "Okay." What? What? Wait, what? Well, this dates back to when Victor and I lived together, and we both got hooked on Law and Order SVU to the point where we would watch a marathon. They would play on USA.
Yep.
All damn day.
All day. Starting from like 2. It was like starting from like 2 in the afternoon. Like 2 in the afternoon.
Yes.
All the way to I think like 6:30.
And sometimes later if they didn't have any programming on backup.
Yep.
We would watch it all damn day. That's when I figured out who Victor's celebrity crush was. A lady by the name of Diane Neal.
Diane Neal.
And he says, "I got you beat, Brian." I said, "How?" And there's one particular episode, Victor warned me ahead of time. And he says, "Diane Neal in pink. You're welcome."
Yep.
I said, "What the hell?" And I saw said episode. And I nearly beat him up again in humor.
Speaking with anybody in the chat, like who is your celebrity crush?
Who's your okay, guys, who is your celebrity crush? Because in a way, I married mine.
Yeah.
All right. In a way, she's a big fan. Of course, y'all know Dr. K's a big fan of the Colts. I consider her a celebrity because she saved my life twice now.
You know what?
I married my celebrity crush.
I want to touch up on that. You know how when I curated Braun Bull?
Oh,
and the term forever teammate?
Yes. Yes.
The inspiration of that was Dr. K. That is your forever teammate. Someone who's got your back. Someone who supports you to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
I remember someone telling me very recently, actually, about marriage doesn't work anymore because there's so much risk and people aren't really in love anymore. I said, you know, my best friend, Snowman, he is proof that marriage works. And not just Dr. K, I'm talking about Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. El Jefe.
Yep.
You know, everyone's significant other in our group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have one just yet, but everyone's
in the operative void.
Right. But everyone's significant other is such a strong ally and a support system That's your perfect teammate. Someone that is there for you and is willing to hold you down and willing to take care of you and also support you with just encouragement. People don't realize, but for a man especially, just word of encouragement goes a long way.
Well, I told the story earlier in the show, and you were hanging out in the green room. Jody told me basically, look, I got us for now, but I expect your empire to take off, and I'm going to be there to help you build it. So get your focus back on what you love to do.
And Wise told you what I told you.
Mm-hmm. And then some.
About not letting outside forces bring you down. Now, I wasn't going to say no names, but they know who they are.
Oh, they know. They know.
But, you already are miles ahead of the game. Do not let people pull you into their mess.
And believe me, it was a mess.
There's no need for it.
Mm-hmm.
You build your empire. You build your foundation. You create your institution. We've been doing that for a long time, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been doing that for the length of time we've been friends. We've been doing that for the length of time we've been friends. A couple of funny names before we get out of here.
Okay.
You already know the semen sample story, but here it is again. Young man named Ryan Sample. His mom says, congrats to Shady Sports Network, 735 subscribers and counting. Let's keep those numbers up. Subscribe to his channel, subscribe to mine and anyone else's. And I know Cole's going on in a few minutes, and we're going to pick him up here in a moment.
This is our village, man. This is our village. This is our fortress.
It is. Let's see. Told you all the semen sample story. First name Victor ever heard me say. The first somewhat Birmingham Victor ever heard me say. Cody Bacon, of course, became Cody. Wait a minute. I'm not going to do it justice. Let me find
it.
I believe I still have it.
Oh, here's one from one of the times I had to go solo.
Mm-hmm.
Was because Brian had basically 2 games to do.
Yes.
And he couldn't do that. So he enlisted me to do 1 game against my will, but and one of the names that I dreaded, but ended up it becoming like the saving grace for me was a young lady by the name of Joanna Heinemann Piper.
I remember that.
And when I said it, she turned and looked at me and smiled and like, yeah, you got it.
One of my favorites played at Crown Point High School, Cody. It's bacon! And I said it that way.
The other one I remember was Chris Nod from the Titans. Because Chris Nod's mom she would scream it so loud.
Yes.
And so I listened to Brian. He says, number 45, Chris Nod. And like right after here, let's go, Nod. And Ryan turned and said, shut up.
And that became a running joke.
That became a running joke.
And she loved it.
Yes.
Mrs. Nod loved it. Chris loved it.
Yes.
He said, I love how you mess with my mom. And every time he comes to play, and of course he got taller. Number 45, Chris Nod. Let's go, Nod. And I would turn and point to the dugout where she was. Let's go, Nod. Shut up. To the point where his dad was dying.
Yeah.
His dad was cracking up.
I got to tell the story real quick.
All right.
Because we were talking about the Little League World Series and, of course, the Chicago Braves. A lot of the Chicago Braves players that were on that Jackie Robinson team were actually ones that we covered.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach was a man named Jerry Houston, really, really wonderful man.
Yes.
He always messed up the lineup somehow. And so I'm sitting there getting ready to go to the next name. And I started doing it by just looking at the number and looking at the name and going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt the name out, and everyone stops and kind of looks at me, and I'm like, "What?" And I look, and the kid is like, "Wait a minute, who is that?" I look down; that name is not on the list. And so Coach Houston runs up, and he had this sheepish like, "I think I made a mistake." I'm like, "A mistake? You're missing a whole child."
Best one. Oh, best one. We got to get out of here. But thank you, Victor, for hanging out for this second hour. Totally appreciate it. Totally appreciate y'all for hanging out in the chat with us. Cole Sports is next on the Snowman Multimedia channel. We'll be a couple minutes behind, but we're going to get it to you. Thank you, Victor. Love you, brother, so much. Thanks, man.
Love you too, brother. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow on the Brian Snow Show. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.